Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Oklahoma City Sports Network. I am your host, the Cowboy Crab. It has been a long time since I've put on the headset for this. I don't even know what you'd call it at this point. I guess you could say for the franchise. It's been a long time since I've been here in the OFL in general, but we are returning here with the Oklahoma City Sports Network, and with me I have assistant coach here of the Oklahoma City Twisters. If you'd like to introduce himself.
Yeah, what's up, guys? I'm the assistant head coach of the Oklahoma Sisters, Henry Cavill. You guys can call me Rise, center slash D. Yeah,
All right. All right, well, Rise, it's good to have you on the show here. And we are about maybe less than a week out here from the Western Conference Championship here for season number 44, where it will be our Oklahoma City Twisters taking on our biggest rival in the Bluesteel City Vikings in another matchup of the Red River rivalry. And from what we've been seeing in the franchise announcements, we're going both. It seems both of these teams are going at each other's throats, with the Twisters more or less going for the throat here of the Vikings. And Rise, I just like to start off with, how do you think this team has been doing this season? Let's just start with the regular season. How do you think we did in the regular season, just to start?
so for sure we underperformed a little bit. We went 5-1 last season, and we're 4-2 this season now. I think that has a lot to do with we had to restructure our team a little bit, like a lot this season. First we had Asukrin, we had Clutch State, Kabulai on the team, week one, and then everything changed. We had Trickstunner come in, and then he got suspended. We had to change up so much. So we lost 2 games. I think was just off of everybody getting used to the roster, all that stuff. We definitely underperformed, but we're the number 2 seed, so didn't do that bad.
Yeah, from what I've been seeing up with the suspensions, they've definitely been a massive part about this team. How have we been able to rebound off these suspensions?
Okay, so Trix' suspension, that was definitely one of the bigger ones. He is the former MVP, wide receiver of the year. That was a big one, but the player we had to fill in his shoes was Tundra, or people can call him Woosh. He was our VB MVP last season. He wasn't originally on the team because of the fact that he was going on vacation for a little bit. But the thing is, Trix getting suspended and him coming back, it's like they lined up perfectly. And like we just brought him back on the team, and we've been really good since. And I think we had one more suspension. It was Maxi Bands. He had like some misconduct and he got suspended, but it was a little bit of stress for a little bit. But he's playoff eligible now. He won't be able to play next season, but at least he can play the playoff run. So I'm happy about that.
And with us, with the with most like hopefully the Twisters advancing to the Victory Bowl this season, not only would we be hoping to defend our Victory Bowl championship that we won last season, we'd also have to be going up against. I'd argue and say that it's the franchise of the league. Like when you think of OFL, I feel like most people will probably think Florida Firecats, knowing that the Firecats are waiting for the winner of the Western Conference Championship. What do you think is going through the Firecats' mind of that that we either have to face the Vikings, the number one seed, or the defending Victory Bowl champions in the Victory Bowl. Not to mention the fact I almost forgot the Vikings. If they win, they're going to be hosting a Victory Bowl in their home stadium. Like I can't remember the last time that happened here in OFL. It might have never happened in the OFL. But I feel like, just what do you think the Firecats are kind of thinking about? Either it's the defending champions or it's basically an away game in San Antonio in the Victory Bowl.
Oh, well, the Firecats are a great team, man. They've been the number 1 seed. They've held that spot. They blew out every single team in the playoffs. There's been a lot of talk about how the other conference is kind of like weak compared to ours, and I can't speak much on that because this we are in the OWC, the opposite conference, but I think whichever team they play, it will end up being a good game. The Vikings, they have Lamont, Clown. They're always going to be a good team, but if they play us, it's going to be a challenge too. We have great players. I think they're a good team, but no team is that good. every team can be beaten.
I would, and we're just gonna go backwards here for a little bit for the playoffs. I did see that in terms of our divisional matchup, at one point we were down 21-0, and we came back to win 38-35 over the Saxon Sunbirds. What happened in that game to get us that comeback? How did we come back from 21-0?
Yeah, so we had like a little bit of hiccups in the beginning. One of our players came late to the game. Our quarterback, just wasn't feeling it. Like we had a lot of like stress from our players getting suspended, then getting unsuspended, and then we had some offensive problems in like the first part of the game, and then we had to like basically just like lock in, and so we were down 21-0, and basically I remember just telling my team like, guys, let's just score, get one stop, score again before halftime, and then we had ball after halftime. So we scored, we got a stop, we scored before halftime, we scored again after halftime, and just like that, the score was 21-0, 21-21, I mean, and we were back in the game. And then we played well the second half, and everybody played well. Our defense was amazing that game, and yeah, we just took it home. Maxi Bands with the toss up at the end.
All right. Well, I think we want to focus back into the conference championship. I have been seeing that the graphics team here for the Twisters have really been pumping out the graphics ahead of this Red River rivalry, and we even got a quote from Hall of Famer wide receiver Samuel here. I don't think
Right.
I could say it exactly word for word, but this is what I can say off his quote here. Ain't no rivalry, one side I did bloodbath. F the Vikings. What do you think the Vikings think about this kind of public statement? And do you think that this is going to make this rivalry even more intense? Because not only is it a rivalry, not only is it a conference title game, but now you got a guy on the other side saying this kind of stuff. Like
Yeah, it's definitely heated for sure. T-Nex, he was a very valuable member of the franchise. He played a lot with Little Sieg,
we got his
a couple
banner
seasons
up
down the road.
behind him, up in the
Yeah,
rafters right behind us.
yep, right next to Little Sieg. He has a lot of animosity built up towards the other team. Uh, he's I feel like Sammy is one of the most outspoken people in the league, and he's always there to defend our backs. He's a true twister at heart, and you know, I'm happy we have people like that rallying behind us.
And I'm just trying to do some here real quick because this is not actually the first time that the Vikings and Twisters have faced off here in a Western Conference Championship. It was season 35 if memory serves me correctly, where I believe it was Twisters and Vikings. Both teams going for the I think it was the undefeated. No. It might have been the end of the regular season, and both teams were undefeated. And both teams were trying to get to the conference, and we're trying to get that number one seed.
Right.
Do you think that the stakes of the Red River rivalry make any game between the Twisters and Vikings just more intense, especially in terms of playoffs?
For sure, like especially when you have people like like our franchise teams, like working day and night to make graphics, make media segments,
You have me
people.
returning from retirement.
Exactly. When you have people like that, kind of rallying up behind you, putting all that work, it really like, ignites the passion and it makes you want to, play your hardest.
It was it was season 35, the week 6. Yeah, Red River rivalry of the two undefeated Twisters and Vikings. But in terms of this game, we're gonna try and close it here shortly. What's what's the mindset for that you're looking for from the Twisters team going into this conference championship?
Yeah, one of the biggest things is we knew what the Victory Bowl matchup was like a week ago because the OEC played their game like really early, and
And
I
they
tried
went quick.
to yeah, they went really quick. And one of the biggest things I like, try to emphasize is that it's always one game at a time. I don't like to think about the VB or like whatever round comes next. I want to think about this game. And I just want everybody to be locked in, especially playing Lamont. I want to say he's the best quarterback in the league. He's showing like he has accolades for it. He's been to like five VBs in a row now. He has the best center in the game. And I feel like this game falls on me and Will Parker the most because Lamont is a scrambling quarterback and his strong point is rolling. So if we can shut that down, we should have a good chance at winning.
Speaking of Lamont, I just want to just I guess bring this one back. Lamont has played for the Twisters organization before. He led us to a victory bowl, but lost to the Bruisers. And
Right.
the Vikings faced us off in the earlier on in the regular season. I believe it was a first matchup of the regular season. Do you think
Okay.
that Lamont he thinks about the franchises he's played for when he goes back up against them, or does that even matter to him? Like he's just jumped from franchise to franchise around the league.
I'd assume if Lamont, has jumped around that much, I don't think he really has much regard for the franchise. I think, he's just a guy who wants to play the game.
All right. Well, think think the final thing that I've got for this one, because for this little interview I've got is what's going to be the final result of that Western Conference Championship.
Uh, Final result,
Yep.
Twisters are gonna win it. That's all I'm gonna say. Twisters should be in the VB. Of
We looking to go back to back.
course, that was the goal from the moment the season started.
When was the last time there was a back to back? I think what it was. So one of the Thunderbirds days? Has it been that long since there's been a back to back? I think it has been. 28, I think it's 28-29, the last back to back Victory Bowl champions if Kelvin's Tuscaloosa Thunderbirds.
Right.
Alright, but I think that might be it. I don't have any further questions. You have any last comments you want to give to the people before we sign out here?
Uh, Not really, man. We just hope we can, give out a good game for the audience, and yeah, it's gonna be fun. Hopefully, we're in the VB by next week.
Alright, well, Bryce, thank you for being with us. I'm going to close this one out here for you on behalf of the Oklahoma City Sports Network. I'm the Cowboy Crab saying so long, everybody.